What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another FIFA 20 video. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you my favorite, or the top 10 sniping filters that I use in FIFA 20. These are probably my favorite ones to use, and they are all really good. And I'm going to be going through each and every one and explaining to you why they're good. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So I have them all listed here on the transfer target. The first one here is going to be Areola. This is one I've talked about on my Twitter a lot, just because he's so easy to snipe for really low. There's countless times where I snipe this guy for 1 or 2k, and I'm able to sell him for 4.5, 5k. Reason why he's actually so high in price is just because he's really the only other French alternative goalkeeper. Yes, he has another version, but that one's a little bit more expensive, so this is one that a lot of people look to go to. Not to mention he's also very good for those SBCs that are coming out. We're getting those daily foot birthday SBCs, so he's one that is he tends to rise up a lot in price. Next up we have Sergey Roberto. This one's usually around 2.5k. This one is for you guys who have a lot more lower coins, honestly. Look to snipe this guy for under 2k. He sells for as you can see 2.5k. You snipe for under 2k and he pops up very often. This is one I always go to when the market's kind of quiet, just because he's always getting listed, he's always getting packed, and he's always getting sold for under his price because people just want to make the quick coins, and they don't like to check his full price, as he's a little bit inflated for a 82 rated player. Next up we have Rakitic. I like Rakitic a lot. He's about 25k right now on Xbox. Reason why I like this card is just because he's a good fodder, and a lot of people list him low. Again, this card is not very appealing at all, and he tends to be included in a lot of SBC solutions, so he's always a decent one to snipe, and even you can hold for SBCs or sell right away. This card I always get for 5k undercuts, and it's pretty decent profit in the end. Next up we have Mindy. The reason why I like Mindy's card a lot is he's super expensive still. Somehow he is still 7-8k at this stage in the game, which is actually ridiculous in my opinion, and yet there are still people who don't know he's this expensive. People will still list him low, and this is one you can get some pretty big undercuts on. I don't use Mindy too often because there is a little bit of competition usually that comes with him, but if you do win them, there is some big profit to be made off of this card. And I mean, like I said, look at the card, it's still very expensive at this stage in the game. And even if you do this on like a Friday or Thursday when people are buying, this card's even higher in price than he is right now, which is just, it's pretty mind-blowing. Next up we have Pereira, and like Rakitic, he's another card that is super unappealing. You can't use him in the game. Look at the 41 pace, no one is using that. But again, he's one that's very good, and he's often used in SBCs. So you'll see in those footbin solutions, Pereira is almost always in it. His price always inflates. And he's just a really good sniping card. No one wants to use this card. They list him up for low. Usually I see him at like 20k, and you could sell for 24, 25k, depending on the day and depending if there's SBCs in demand for him. Next up we have Maguire. This one, like Roberto, is one of those cheaper ones you can get. He usually sells for around 2.5, 3k, and you can always snipe them for low. A lot of people list this card min because looking at the pace and the stats, he's not a very good card, so a lot of people think, he has no value. But he does have decent value as far as SBCs go. So, this is one that I don't really hop on often because I do like the other ones better. But nonetheless, he's still a decent one, and you can make good profit if you don't have a lot of coins. Next up is Ricardo Pereira. I like this card a lot because, he's about 5k usually, 4 5k. Like Areola and Mindy, he's one that's, higher in price. People still use him, but people don't know that he's that high. He's 82 rated, so not a lot of people think he's that expensive. You get tons of 1 or 2k undercuts, 3k undercuts, and you're able to sell them up for 5k and make good profit pretty fast. Next up we have Albiol, and I like this card a lot. Every time there's an 83 rated SBC, this guy just shoots up in price, and no one seems to really understand that he's actually a pretty decently valued card. Yes, the stats suck on this card too, but he's super useful for SBCs, and his price is always going to be over 5k. Sometimes it drop down at 4, 3k, But you know, you can usually always find snipes on this guy. It's especially good because you know he's going for 5.5, 6K right now. So he is a little bit inflated, which means there are a lot more deals to find. I would set my sniping filter, you know, like 4.5K and just snipe anything under that. Next up we have DeVridge, and this one is my favorite one to use probably right now, because this card is super expensive. He's usually around 7 or 8K, but because there's a lot of SBCs out that he is needed for, he is risen up a lot. He was actually extinct a few days ago at 12K, but right now he's about 11, and you can find some ridiculous undercuts on this card. Like, I'm so serious. I sniped one for 3K and sold him for 12K. That's literally like an 8.5K profit after tax. And you know, you do that for a couple cards, you are making some pretty decent coins. And finally we have Ndidi. Ndidi is a little bit different because he has his 84, which is about the same price as the 81. So if you set this filter, you know, like 4K, you can actually snipe both the 81 and the 84s. The 81s are expensive, obviously, because they're not in packs anymore. And the 84 is a decent card, honestly. So, I mean, if you set your sniping filters to, you know, Ndidi, you can look to snipe both versions of the card, which means, you know, a lot better chance of winning them. And then you can obviously sell them for, you know, 4 or 5K. This is a card that doesn't really change in price usually. So he's around 4 or 5K all the time. Now, to wrap up this video, obviously the prices are going to change on these cards as we go throughout FIFA. You have to think when, you know, getting your filters. Are these guys needed for SBCs? Are these guys usable? Mindy's a guy who's usable, so obviously this filter will work a lot. However, someone like Albiol, you know, he might not be needed in a week if you guys are watching this video then. So his price could be down to 3K, so you have to adjust accordingly. So always the questions I ask before I snipe is this guy usable and in demand? Or is he required for an SBC? Is he in demand for that? And that would pretty much wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, please drop a like on it and hit that subscribe button down below. And let me know in the comments, what are your guys' favorite sniping filters to use? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.